All right, let's continue. Gonna defend Mask to Mask. I'm so excited. Not really. Hey, Nick. What is it? Is something wrong? Nah, but did you see all the people here? It's crazy. Oh, so check out the Mask to Mask glossy I bought. You bought this? Where? From the little tents in front of the courthouse. They have all sorts of things on sale. You know, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Come on, I'm guilty. Throw the book at me. Who's screaming like that? Oh, Mr. Wright, you made it. Yeah, I did, but it doesn't look like things are going to get any less ugly for you. Because I did it. I'm the criminal. Me. Oh, he's at it again. I sent the calling card to Lord Lee Taylor. I admit it. But you don't have the sacred urn, right? Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't commit the crime. Normally when I say, of course you didn't, I'm being sarcastic, but you, yikes. Anyway, I admit that I'm guilty, so make sure they give me a guilty verdict, please. Oh, there you are, Ronnie. Bonjour, sweetie. Oh, Desiree, honey. Bonjour. Well, actually, I don't really know why I should be speaking French to you at a time like this. Leave it all to me, Ronnie. I swear I'll protect you. You see, actually, the thief is me. I can tell you something, Nicky boy. I can guarantee that my Ronnie is innocent. If he is declared guilty, I'll be ever so cross with you. So why are you smiling when you say it? Well, if you excuse me, I've got some errands I need to take care of. I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Good luck. To be honest, I really don't know whether Ron is masked to mask or not, but there's only one thing I am sure of. He doesn't have the sacred urn right now. Mr. Delight, it's time for you to enter the courtroom. For the time being, I guess all I have to do is trust Desiree. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. What about the prosecution? Are you prepared to... What a stupid question. What did you say? Fine, let me ask you then, Your Honor. Are you ready? Are you ready to pass judgment? What? No, I'm not. I will pass judgment after I hear arguments from both sides. Well, if you're not ready yourself, you shouldn't be expecting others to be. That's a rule to live by. Who are you? I am Got It. Legendary prosecutor. I've never lost a case. He's the one that Detective Adam at me was talking about. Yes, your reputation precedes you. What kind of case have you dealt with so far? Ha, none. What did you say? I've never prosecuted a case before. Never? But you said you've never lost before. Exactly. I've never lost. I've never won before either. Quite arrogant for a beginner, aren't you? Even that the mightiest of redwoods begin their life as a mere sapling. Yes, but a mask in a court of law? Don't you know anything? No matter the man, we all wear masks, either on our faces or over our hearts. This guy is the real deal, all right, Nick. Does it seem like all prosecutors are the real deal? So we finally meet, Mr. Phoenix Trite. Nick, is he a friend of yours? No, I don't have any friends that call me Trite. Just who is this masked man? I've returned from the depths of hell to battle with you. Well then, Prosecutor Gobo. It's not Gobo. It's Got It, Your Honor. In any case, please give your opening statement. Opening statement? Those things are not fit for even dogs to consume. I have only one thing to say before we start. To you, Mr. Trite. What is it? Are you familiar with the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link? I wonder, how much you can withstand before you and your case breaks in two? Well then, let's hear from the first witness. My name is... No one has asked you for your name, witness. Irk. The important thing is what you know. That's all. Start talking. We're listening. Yes, sir. All right, witness. First, let's hear about what you know about the thief that stole the urn. Yes, sir. MaskDemask is a master thief that first started his crime spree 6 months ago. He is so confident that he sends his calling card before he even commits the crime. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card on to Lordly Taylor. His pattern is to always go after only the most precious of art pieces. That's why we're sure it was MaskDemask, sir. It fits his MO to a T. So then the actual identity of MaskDemask is Mr. Got It. What are you? We're in the middle of a trial here, Mr. Got It. Blacker than the moonless night, hotter and more bitter than hell itself. That is coffee. I'm sure you can grant me at least this much, Your Honor. Oh, please, proceed. Very well. It's only coffee, after all. What? You can be letting him slide this early in the trial? Proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Well, Nick, what are we going to do? As long as they haven't brought up Mr. Delight's identity, all we can do is show that it wasn't MaskDemask who stole the urn. Do I have... no monetary value. Okay, well, I think it's this one then. Can I ask you a little something, Detective Gumshoe? Just hearing the little in that question is making me nervous. You said that he always goes after the most precious art pieces, right? That's right, pal. But there's one problem. That's not what he did in this case. The supposedly priceless urn doesn't exactly raise to the level of precious art. Well, what do you mean? Nick, how can you say such a terrible thing? No, I meant from a financial point of view. I mean, it wouldn't fetch a good price. Well, prosecutor Got It. What is the value of that urn? The appraisal I spoke to said they couldn't attach a price to it. And I mean that in the worst sense. So, in other words, it was not the kind of item that MaskDemask would normally go after. If I understand of the sacred urn was not the work of MaskDemask? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Actually, all I did was point out a contradiction. The argument made itself, but... Well, first of all, we need to get this issue cleared up. Was this last robbery the work of MaskDemask or not? What do you have to say about it, Mr. Got It? This coffee here, it's my own special blend. I call it Got It 107. I'm trying to decide whether to cut down on the accidentality or the bitterness. That's the only thing I've got on my mind right now, Mr. Wright. What? If you're really a man, you should clean up your own mess. Sorry, but I don't get what you mean. If you're saying it wasn't MaskDemask that stole the urn, then it must be someone intimidating MaskDemask method. A fake. A fake MaskDemask? Fake MaskDemask? That sounds so ridiculous, but I like it. Now, before I decide on my coffee, I believe some proof is in order, Mr. Trite. Proof that the person who appeared at Lordly Taylor that night was actually a fake. Though I don't approve of Mr. Goddard's behavior, his point is valid. Mr. Wright, we're waiting. Looks like I'm going to have to prove it. I need proof that the person at Lordly Taylor that night was, in fact, fake MaskDemask. The proof is here, right here. This looks like a photo taken by a security camera. But if you look closely, you'll notice something particular about it. Heh. Well then, why don't you go ahead and show us what it is? Go on, use this pointer and show us what about this picture is particular. It's right here, of course. You mean MaskDemask? I have here a piece of reference I would like the court to take a look at. Isn't that the publicity photo I just bought this morning? The problem I have with the security photo camera is the brooch on Mr. Damask's chest. A brooch? Here, bailiff, get my steed. We need to retreat at once. A brooch, Your Honor. It's a sort of clasp for holding one cape on. A clasp? I see now. But the MaskDemask in the security camera photo, he has no brooch. That brooch is the same as the emblem on the mask calling card and serves as a symbol. But the thief that broke into Lordly Taylor wasn't wearing a brooch. In other words, this MaskDemask is a fake. I've been fooled again. Order. It's true. Undeniable. It's true. Detective Gumshoe, how could you have overlooked this? I'm sorry. I don't know how I... Hey now. If you're gonna have a pity party, invite me too. But Mr. Goddard, you deserve some blame in this too. How could you have overlooked such a large brooch? The brooch you're talking about? You mean this? Huh? That's MaskDemask brooch. Where did you find it? Well, I've always had a good nose for evidence. I got it at the crime scene. It was hidden in the shadow of a big female Buddha statue. Buddha statue? You must mean the Amy Faye statue. Well, why didn't you tell me about it, sir? I always put evidence away in my pocket. After all, it's the safest place for critical evidence. This guy is one cool customer. It's a little early to be shaken up, isn't it, little lady? That friend of yours left pretty little hickeys on there too? Hickeys? Figuratively speaking, of course. I'm referring to Ron Delight's fingerprints. What? What? The defendant's fingerprints are on the brooch? Order in the court. Mr. Goddard, let's see that brooch. I've grown attached to my metallic girlfriend here. Take good care of her. It appears to have been torn off some clothing. There's a bit of cloth left on the back. Obviously, there must have been a bit of a struggle that night at the crime scene. Uh-oh, Phoenix, we have a problem. You mess with Goddard, and you get burned. Sure, he's been playing me like a violin. Well, Judge, I'm about ready to call my next... You're done with me? But I haven't proven anything yet. You've proven your own incompetence. That's good enough. That doesn't sound good at all. Bailiff, bring the next witness into the courtroom. Finally, time for the ace detective to make his appearance, huh? One second is one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up. Shh, silence. Now I see. It's all becoming clear. Well, what's clear? Zavari. The truth has once again been blatantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor, a coffee maniac at that. Am I correct? Well, yes, that's right. Not bad at all. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil. Well, sir prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Luke Atme, ace detective and rising star, illuminating in the heavens. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off. I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were all alone on the security detail. You have heard correctly. My specialty mode monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe was worth anything, that is. Why was this guy all by himself anyways? There must be some reason, I'm sure of it. Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous MaskDemask, handsomely descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used the emergency phone to notify the police. So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal? My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that only is natural. I fail to see why the witness seems so proud of his performance that evening. Well, sir, old-timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great MaskDemask, my arch enemy. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me. Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Alright. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date change. I didn't see anything, so we're gonna press. So, what? So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deductive skills, sir lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at that time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday too. Gumshoe also said that they've never spotted the thief at the crime scene before. Precisely. That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure on your pigeony head, that is. In any case, that's when my nemesis, the infamous MaskDemask, dancingly descended upon me. Dancingly descended from where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So, in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtle camouflaging cape and soft sole shoes. I hereby dub you Ace Dunce. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put this? I saw his mask, that's all that I can recall. That's not very solid as far as testimonies go. However, fortunately, I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. I captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe. Well, as long as their photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Goddard, do you have a problem with this photo? Good. Then let's continue with the testimony. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing. That's certainly some very impressive detective. Well, sir lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory, too. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with. You may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflecting part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless, and then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. About this 30 minutes, my silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium. As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying that he was out cold. So, what happened during these 30 minutes? No one could say, Your Honor. That span of life has truly vanished into the other. Just what is it he going on about? There's something suspicious about Detective Atme. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. But that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence, huh? What piece? The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie? Okay. Mr. Atme, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Ah, this belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, MaskDemask. It is, in point of fact, MaskDemask brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of being ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night, you, Detective Atme. Detective Atme, you must have fought with the thief that night. So, why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness, giving false testimony is a serious crime. No. Wait just a minute, sir, old-timer. Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home. I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately. The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time, right? You talk too much. Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought? Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor. Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. I, Luke Atme, agree completely. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, Look Atme cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, bam, and that's all she wrote. So, in the end, you did catch a glimpse of the MaskDemask, correct? It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case. That can't be good. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. So why did you look away from the door anyways? In addition to the cameras, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask more questions? So does that computer belong to Lordly Taylor as well? Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me, Luke Atme. In that case, he could have easily manipulated the data. Hehehehe. What's wrong, Sir Lawyer? However, Luke Atme cannot be so easily discombobulated. What does that mean, discombobulated? Young people these days, they really irritate me. They allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyways? Now I've forgotten. What was I saying? Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed the weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. What do you mean by weapon from the side? Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, Luke Atme, was hidden in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing at the door of the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about the Sisters de Gato. So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness? A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities? But of course, in college, I was the second in charge of the boxing club. I'm sorry if I failed to find that approximately impressive. However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, MaskDemask. This guy is a real piece of work. His first blow struck true, bam, and that's all she wrote. Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious, you might say. He was powericious. Powericious? I assume the at-me fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was a checkmate. My opponent had bested me. What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? We're blinded. I don't care about the fighting stance, I don't think. So, what was this flash of light that blinded you? I was bathed in a golden light that seemed to come from the statue of the woman. Statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing? Well, that wasn't very much help. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I am absolutely sure of now. Yeah? What is it? This Luke Atme guy, he's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. About the true nature of this detective. We're gonna ask about the sensor? What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air-conditioning ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detection, infrared, and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lorley Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security cameras that took the photo belonged to them as well. In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Hee. Has that cleared up any doubts? Alright, let's try the other one. What's the fighting stance? What is this at-me fighting stance? I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. That's it? That's the at-me fighting stance? Well, Mr. Wright, what about the testimony? Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness, we'll go ahead and add your secret information to the official testimony. I went back to the wall to fight, but the thief landed my third eye. Oh, back of the head. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun is this, sir lawyer? It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have warned his way in through somewhere beside the door. Then my arch nemesis struck me on the head from behind with the gruesome item here. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that it struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective at me, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Genies such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong. To err is human, to forgive divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that. Really? What is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is that you're asserting? Very well. Your Honor, the defense asserts that... The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke at me, true identity is actually MaskDemask. Yeah! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atmey's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he managed to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. The explanation is far more simpler than that, Detective Atmey. The truth is that you are, in fact, MaskDemask. Kirk! But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows MaskDemask. This security camera belongs to Lorelei Taylor's department store. You shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn. So the ace detective is actually an ace thief? Is this true, witness? The Mask MO is pure genius, and so am I, Luke Atmey, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, sir lawyer. Well, what? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey, when you assume the thief... Got it, Blend 102, my personal favorite. Mr. Got It. The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling movie. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true. But Mr. Got It, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of a whole wool cloth, but it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have quickly. Huh? Oh, yeah, yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atmey looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right here if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atmey is, in fact, MaskDemask. As usual, the defense comes prepared, Your Honor. Very well, then. Let's see what you've got. Please present proof that MaskDemask is actually Mr. Luke Atmey. Do I really have... I don't think I really have proof. think I totally bluffed. Oh well, I'm gonna be penalized. Perhaps you like a mug of my special Got It blend. Well, no thanks, I'm fine, really. What do I do now? Another mistake like that and I'm through. Without some decisive evidence, I could be risking everything. I don't have a thing. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high no matter how bad things get, after all. Ugh, I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is a thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Got It? If you have anything further to... Who? Who are you? It doesn't really matter right now, does it? Miss Delight, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing I've been looking for. I think I found it. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's the sacred urn, Nick. It's the urn. Order. You, madam. That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants, ace detective, Luke Atme. Oh, Desiree, you're the best. Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one. Ha, pathetic. Mr. Got It? Do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved? Before casting aspirations on Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, is that correct? Yes? What about it? How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witnessing today. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Miss Delight, please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in Atme's detective agency. I show fingerprints in the urn. I could prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyways. Nick, what are you going to do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Atme must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday, and there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes the fingerprints of the person should be on the urn. So, what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyways? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events yesterday? Hey, Nick, come on, open it up. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is important investigating. Well, what's in there? Hang on a second. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth. Well, hello there. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside. Well, what? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atmy's office. Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put on there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the expedition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atmy Detective Agency. Ha! This blend. Got it, blend 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all. Order. I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Yes, I finally broken him down. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake. You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only MaskDemask. I hope you all enjoy my little performance. Well, Mr. Goddett, what's Mr. Atmy's condition? He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the jokes as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, we were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight... You're wrong. Wrong, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief, the sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures, it's me. I'm him. I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please. I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but the true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge. What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you. Mr. Goddett, don't just stand there drinking coffee. Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir? If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are MaskDemask, then prove it. That's what I mean. Yes, sir, I'll be happy to. He says he'll be happy to, Nick? It's kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy. Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that. I won't fail, I swear. Okay then, talk. We'll all listen. Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession. The truth is, I've been MaskDemask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually MaskDemask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen after all. I don't know my costume that night in dancingly descending upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right here in the photo. That's me. As for the brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and I got it torn off, that's all. I don't like the direction this trial has taken, but this is how every trial goes, at least with me anyways. Heh. You're doing great. Hehehe. Stop it, Mr. Goddard. You're embarrassing me. Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true MaskDemask. Thanks so much, Mr. Goddard. I'll do my best. Alright, Mr. Wright, I'm afraid it's time for cross-examination. The truth is, you may think that you're the real MaskDemask, but your wife thinks you're delusional. I haven't told Desiree yet about my true identity. I mean, believe me, I've got my reasons. With the way your room is decked out, how could she not know about it? Even thieves have complicated family situations, I suppose. What should I do? It sounds like we're about to get sidetracked again. So why are you withholding the truth from your wife? Well, first of all, I don't think she'd believe me anyways. And second, if there's one thing that Desiree absolutely detests, it's criminals. If that's the case, then why did you ever start thieving to begin with? Well, Desi is crazy about shopping. She's a real shopaholic. But she's the love of my life, Your Honor. I guess you could say I'm a Desi-holic. So you do have a complicated family situation after all. Alright, that's enough. Please continue with your testimony. I beg of you. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually MaskDemask, can you? I thought you were going to be the one to show us the proof. You know, that you're the real MaskDemask and not just some kind of obsessive fanboy. Hey now, that's not fair. Why do I have to do all the hard work anyways? Maybe because you're the one making the outrageous claims for a change? Come on, Nick, you know that Mr. Delight couldn't have committed the crime. You're the one with the fancy law degree. It's time to put it to work already. I need some kind of proof that Ron couldn't possibly be MaskDemask. Well, I guess if you had that kind of proof, we wouldn't still be here, would we? For the time being, maybe I need to shift strategies. I should try to show that Mr. Delight couldn't have stolen the urn. Anyways, I mean, you can't actually prove that I'm not MaskDemask. Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Yes, it does. I had lost it somewhere. Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to the police right away. No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence. Evidence? Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at KB Security Headquarters. What? Surely you're not serious. Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was in fact at KB Security that night. No! So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lorley Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car, according to Larry anyways. Well, Mr. Goddard, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee. Well, come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong. You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Goddard. Alright, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. You really got Mr. Delay all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at the first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous. Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB Security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist. Planted it there? He's really reaching now. Mr. Delight, You probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The key card at the KB Security CEO's office. No. That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you've overlooked one small thing. What? Motive, of course. Why would this thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyways? Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all. Grr, this stupid kid. Now then, let's see your evidence. The evidence that shows why Mr. Delight went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night. Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? That's, what is it? A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents. Blackmail? Yes. Basically, it says bring $50,000. That certainly sounds like a blackmail, all right. At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with the blackmailer himself. At KB Security CEO's office, a full half hour away from the scene of the crime. Ugh. No. Order. So, when the theft of the urn occurred, the defendant was at KB Security. It looks like a perfect case for the defense. You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me, well, let's just say that my Got It Blend 107 impresses me a lot more. Well, what are you trying to say? You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of the security company. But, did you actually investigate the CEO at all? Huh? Well, no, I guess not. Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof, I'm not sure what I think of that. Not sure what I think of that. At least I know what I think of you. Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you will need at least one witness to corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? There is someone else who can testify. This is the person that can testify about the key card, blah, 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 blah. All right, Larry, come on out. Who is this useless-looking young man? You don't remember him, Your Honor? Not exactly. But just looking at the picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. It looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blacked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at the KB Security that night. Oh. The question at hand is this key card. Yep, that's the key card they used in the building I work in. According to the serial number, this one is for the CEO's office. You need it to get into the room, and every time you use that card, it leaves a record. Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered the room and all. As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO and KB Security. You should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing his key card data. Blah. Well, Mr. Got It? The name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data. Here. So what does it show? Each keycard has its own serial number and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, this card was used at 1 a.m. on the morning of the crime. But that means it can't be Mr. Delight dressed up as the MaskDemask in the photo. It looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew up a good old cup of joe. So then... Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for the defendant to be MaskDemask. Good job, you did it, Nick. That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching a record of an innocent man, besmirching him with the title of thief. What's wrong, Your Honor? I'm ready to pass judgment. But before I do that, do you have any further objections? No, Your Honor. Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Rondelite, not guilty. Court is now adjourned. Now get out of my faces. Nick, you did it. You were right after all. Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. Nicky boy. Oh, Mr. Light. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Aw, shucks. Thanks, Mr. Light. I just know I'm blushing. Congratulations, Mr. Nick. Oh, pearls. I've got a bad feeling about this. Gasp. Who is this woman? Oh, she's nobody. She's just, You're blushing. How dare you do that in front of Mystic Maya? You should be ashamed of yourself. Ouch! She slapped me. Pearly? This woman is Miss Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Mr. Nick! Yes? You're even worse than I thought. Going behind the back of your own client. No, you've got it all. I'll never forgive you. Ow, a double slap. Well, anyways, all's well that ends well, right? We got the sacred urn back, and the thief has been caught. You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky boy here. But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us the urn back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please, you're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so gloom? But I am a thief. Actually, what's the point now? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. I know, and I appreciate it, Desiree. But the thing is, come on, give the kid some time. Know about feeling blue, right, amigo? Mr. Got It, what are you doing here? Oh, come on, I just came here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite. Maybe you should learn my name before you call me buddy. Well, playtime is over, huh? Earlier this morning, the body of Cain Bullarg was discovered. Cain Bullarg? Where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of the CEO in KB Security? Wait, but body? The estimated time of death was at 1 a.m. on October 12th. 1 a.m. on October... You don't mean... That's right, amigo. At the same time that a cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered. So then, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you? So then, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten about that piece of info I helped you out with today? Helped me out? What? On October 12th at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron Delight was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been imbrued with utter rage. What are you saying? Imbrued with rage? Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. An employee of KB Security? It looks like the alibi that saved him from being convicted as a thief is going to be a noose that gets him hanged for kind of an anti-alibi. No way. He can't be the thief because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred. No, that's a lie. It can't be true. Oh, but I am a thief, I tell you. Ron Delight, you're going back to prison again. This time, the charge is much more serious. This time, you'll be tried for murder. But what? This is impossible. I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Wright. You and I aren't through with each other yet. Surely you won't back down from a challenge. You've never been a coward. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here. This guy, who the heck is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced. Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. Delight. Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client has been arrested for murder. And the one who established his presence at the scene was me. Yeah, Ronnie! Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. What's the heck is going to happen next? And that's the end of this stream.